Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kayla, and if you're not new, thanks for coming back. Always happy to have you. Today I'm really excited to share with you another fall reading vlog. It's very cozy, very autumnal for practical magic. I inserted some clips before of the reading sessions I've had so far, and I'm making good progress. I'm like 100 pages in right about now, so I'm about a third of the way through. This is my book club pick for my book club this month. This has been on my autumnal TBR for years. I have been waiting for a very long time to read this book. It was in my autumnal TBR this year and last year, and I'll leave both of those linked down below for you guys if you're interested in the books that I want to read this fall. It doesn't necessarily take place in fall time, but it is making me feel a lot of cozy fall autumn vibes, which I really appreciate. So far, last night was like the perfect cozy reading time. It was like I had the lights on, I had a candle going, made myself some tea in like a witchy themed mug, and it was a beautiful rainstorm outside, so it was just kind of perfect. If you've read Practical Magic, give me your thoughts down below. If you know similar books or books with similar vibes, let me know, because I'm really enjoying this so far. But yeah, it's very much not what I expected. I kind of expected Sally and Jillian to be like younger, like in their early 30s or late 20s and be single. I didn't expect them to like have lived lives and have families when this all kind of comes to fruition. So that's like an interesting twist I just didn't expect. And I also expected the house in Massachusetts to be like a very big aspect of the story, and it's not where I'm at right now. Hi friends, so I am currently editing a ton of footage to get out to you guys, and I saw my clips of my little reading vlog of Practical Magic, and I really thought this was going to be a more thorough reading vlog where I would have more time to read it and like dedicate to reading it, and that is not what happened. For a couple of different reasons. First, I had a pretty busy couple weeks at work. I took the first 2 weeks of November off to go to Disney, so those vlogs are coming, and to celebrate my anniversary with my boyfriend Grant. And I had a lot to get done before leaving for 2 weeks, so I didn't have a ton of dedicated work time, or reading time I should say. It was a lot of working late nights, working through my lunch, things like that. Most often when I was reading was a couple moments on the T, when I was taking the train into work, like my 20-minute commute there and back. I did that a couple of times and got a good chunk of this read. There was just like a night that I really wasn't feeling well, and I was like really mentally not in a great place, and I just like kind of read in my bed to try and finish out this book over Halloween weekend. So I did finish Practical Magic, and kind of like what I did with my Kingdom of the Feared review, I wanted to give you guys a little snippet of my reading vlog and share with you my final thoughts and review on Practical Magic. If you haven't watched my autumnal TBR for this year, go watch that. I talk a lot about Practical Magic and why I wanted to read it, and that has a big kind of weight on my review for Practical Magic. Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman is a book that has been super popular, well beloved for many years since it came out. I have the 25th anniversary edition. I think it's been out longer than 25 years, but I'm not positive. And I have to say, I'm really sad to say this book was a bit of a flop for me. I did pick this. I have been waiting to read this book for about 2 years because I wanted to read and discuss it with my book club. I'm in a book club with my mom, some of my aunts, my cousin, and my sister. And I wanted to wait to read Practical Magic, so I had a book club pick slot in the fall, and it was this year. So it's literally been 2 years I've been waiting to read this book. We're really hyping it up. I thought this was like epitome fall book. So many people talk about watching the movie and reading the book in this season. So I thought it was gonna be like the peak fall Halloween read. Once I started reading, I realized that is actually not what this book really is. It takes place in the summertime. Why did nobody tell me for 2 years that this book takes place in the summer? I read it and I started reading it. I got to like the main plot of the book and I was like, oh my god, it's not even in fall. Never mind the fact that it's like not as witchy magic as I really thought it was this whole time. It's like practical magic, like low-key magic, but it's not like witches and like really spells and learned magic like some of the other books that I love. So I was like kind of waiting for the real magic to happen. I also have to say that the summary on the back of this book does not really tell you anything about what's happening in this book. I'm going to read it for you, and then I'm going to tell you where it led me astray. For more than 200 years, the Owens women have been blamed for everything that has gone wrong in their Massachusetts town. Jillian and Sally have endured that fate as well. As children, the sisters were forever outsiders, taunted talked about, pointed at. Their elderly aunts were almost seemed to encourage the whispers of witchery with their musty house and their exotic concoctions and their crowd of black cats. But all Jillian and Sally wanted was to escape. One will do so by marrying, the other by running away, but the bonds they share will bring them back almost as if by magic. I love Massachusetts. It's peak fall time here. I thought this was going to be a very like Salem-y vibe, like Salem town. The book doesn't even take place in Massachusetts. Like, they start in Massachusetts and then they leave and they go to New York, and one goes to Arizona and then comes back to New York, but they don't go to Massachusetts. Like, the whole book takes place in New York. Okay, Sally's the older one. She has kids, and I figured that this book, I thought it would take place when these two sisters were like in their older 20s, younger 30s. They're much older. They're middle-aged, probably like in their 40s. Sally has kids like who take up a big part of this plot that aren't even really talked about. Their aunts are always on the peripheral. It's not even really about the aunts in this book. And I thought it was just like this whole coven of witches living together. But the real witches live pretty removed from the main characters of this story. There is also this plot of murder that's like intertwined into this story. I don't think I even gave a summary of what happened. If you're unfamiliar with practical magic, it's about these two girls who have grown up in a family of witches. Grown up. They were orphaned by their parents who passed away. They grew up in this family of witches. They don't like that they have been the weird sisters, so they run away and they try and start their new lives. However, they have this bad luck that follows them, and one of the sisters accidentally poisons her husband. The other sister, Sally, her husband passed away unexpectedly when her children were very young. Jillian accidentally murders her husband, boyfriend at the time, and brings his dead body back to Sally's house, where she asks her for help in getting rid of this body. They bury it in the backyard. It starts to grow really intense lilac flowers, and the body starts to kind of like curse their house a bit. The ghost of this guy starts to haunt their house, and they have to figure out how to like get rid of it, move him to their final resting place. And that causes a lot of issues for Sally's two kids, Kylie and Antonia, and then they also have to call in the aunts to kind of help them get rid of him for good. First, it was disappointing for me because it doesn't take place in fall. Secondly, it's not really emphatic on magic and witchery. Like I said, the witches are more on the periphery of the story. I didn't really expect there to be like kids involved, so there, with the kids being involved, there are other like side plots that are also happening in the story that just kind of, for me, cluttered the story. Like, I really wanted to focus on one or two characters, but you had to focus on a lot more with these side characters in Antonia and Kylie. And I didn't feel like I like connected with any of these characters super well. I didn't totally like any of them. Like, I didn't find one that I was like, oh, you're my favorite. Like, I was lukewarm to all of them, which was a little bit disappointing. I don't know. And I feel like it, in one sense, it moved really quickly, that I just like could sit down and read and realize that 60 pages had not realize 60 pages had gone on. It moved super fast, kind of in a very like stream of consciousness feel that kept it moving really fast. But sometimes it felt like it was moving it too quickly, that you're like, oh, I'm not actually getting very in-depth in these scenes or in these moments. They're just kind of like passing me by really, really quickly. Overall, I really like the kind of emphasis and theme that it has on like sisterhood and womanhood and like family connections. I thought that was really nice, and kind of why I thought it would be a good fit for my book club to read, because I feel like we all focus and emphasize those things. But overall, I did not really like practical magic, and I'm really, really sad about it. Pause. When they talk about the aunts, I thought there was like 6 aunts. There's like 2 people when they're talking about the aunts, and I was like, all of this commotion for 2 old ladies? I also think it's a different experience for me. A lot of people that I know love this book and this movie grew up watching the movie, so there's also a like feeling of nostalgia associated with this story in this book. I did not. I have never seen Practical Magic the movie, never read the book when I was younger, never watched it, didn't really know much about it, but just knew that so many people said that this was like their nostalgic fall book and movie, to which I'm like, show me where the fall is. And maybe it's fall in the movie, who knows. But I feel like it's a different experience to read the book when you have the nostalgia associated with the movie. I unfortunately don't have that, so I don't think it carried like that little bit of nostalgia or happiness that goes along with it, which is a little unfortunate. I do want to watch the movie and see if it's any different or if I like it any better. I know Sandra Bullock's in it. Overall, pretty disappointed by this book. It was completely not what I expected, and not in a good way. Like, kind of just like got to the end and was like, okay, that's that. Like, read it super fast, but not because I just wanted to read and get to the end, but just because it was a fast-paced book and it moved pretty quickly. Such a bummer for me. Like, I couldn't even get excited talking about it with my sister and my mom, because every time I read, I wasn't like miserable or upset or angry or like thoroughly disappointed, but I also wasn't like super excited and energetic and happy like when I'm reading something that I'm really enjoying. Really thought I was gonna love this book. Overall, I gave it like, I think 3 or so stars, just because I think I hyped it up a little bit too much for myself and was disappointed by the outcome when I finally read it. So that is my review of Practical Magic. I don't have much to say other than that. I hope that you guys enjoy Practical Magic. I hope that you have some sort of attachment to it. If you have any thoughts on Practical Magic, if you grew up with it or you've loved it or you've read it forever, let me know in the comments. Let's chat about it. Is there something else I can do? Should I watch the movie? Is that better? How do I redeem Practical Magic for myself? But that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a quicker video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me? Or